Versed in Dragons made a shorter video, that's good, called Paizo Lead Designer Hates Fascists and the Most Insanely Woke Magic Ritual You've Ever Seen.
Well, how are you guys doing today? It's your old pal Double D.
Aw, did we bully him too much and he's hiding now? What's going on? What is this? Are you recording this in your car on your phone?
Coming at you with another quick video. Breaking news, sort of. Not really breaking. It's old news, but it's new to me and new to a lot of people. It involves a post on X by Jason Bullman of Pi.
It genuinely took me a second to figure out what X is. Why is he whispering? I don't know. I don't know what the fuck. That's why I'm saying, like, is he doing it in the bathroom at work?
So, tell you what, let's just get right into it and I'll tell you what I think. And I'm also going to show you
Sounds like his mom is listening and he's being quiet, right?
I hope you have a fantastic day.
Hex Girl, priming, thank you.
I think it's one of their newer adventure paths in Pathfinder 2e. It is absolutely bonkers and insane. This is
bonkers and insane.
Jason Bullman. He's the director of game design for Paizo. Now, Paizo is the number 2 tabletop RPG company. But this was Jason a couple years back when he was announcing an opening.
We want to encourage women and people of color to consider tossing your hat in the ring. I would love to see a big, broad swath of folk interested in joining the team. Imagine if you encourage white men to apply more. The shitstorm that ensue. To be honest, they do not need my encouragement to apply. Society does a pretty good job of telling white men to try for anything. That's awesome.
On the design team at
pretty
Paizo.
Easy.
Now, he said all are welcome to apply, but he wanted to encourage women and people of color to consider tossing their hat in the ring.
Yeah. What is wrong with that? Huh? You're so sensitive, dude. What a fucking baby. I would like to encourage women and people of color to consider tossing your hat in the ring because I would like to see a big, broad swath of folk interested in joining the team. Are you not interested in sharing the hobby with people? Like, huh? These are, I think women and people of color are definitely groups that aren't commonly found playing D&D as often as white guys, right? And personally, I would love more diversity at my table. It makes the experience better. Like, it's just more interesting. You get more opinions and you get more, like, differences of opinion at the table between characters. And you get more different play styles and you get different creativity. And, you know, just people have different perspectives on stuff. It's good. I like it.
He wants to see a big, broad swath of folk interested in joining the team.
Why are you talking like this? Are you currently stalking someone? Like, it sounds like you're hiding from a person that you don't want them to hear you. But you also had this take you had to really rip off really quick, you know? Had to fire one out.
And then this other person responded, imagine if you encouraged white men to apply more. The bleep storm that would ensue.
The bleep storm?
Jason's answer is...
Go. What? How are you going to try to be like, oh yeah, we're not wokies? And you're just offended by everything. You are a 55-year-old divorced man. You use your swears like everybody else. How will the bros make out in a platonic way with girls at the table? True. I personally only want a game with boys. Boys. The boys, come to me. We need, hey, no girls allowed. They got cooties. It's like the Boy Scouts, really. We need a troop leader, DM. We need everybody to be a pure little Christian white boy and play D&D. They actually made a D&D, like a white Christian D&D, like, alternative during the Satanic Panic. And it's really bad. But you can play it if you want. They have those.
To be honest, they don't need encouragement to apply. You can almost feel the venom dripping off of him here, can't you?
The venom? You're literally just so offended. This is 4 years old, 5 years old. You're so offended. To be honest, they do not need encouragement to apply. Society does a pretty good job of telling white men to try for anything. What are you talking about? The venom. Do you disagree with the statement that society does a pretty good job of telling white men to try for anything? I certainly grew up learning that I could try to be anything, didn't you? What are you talking about? You're such a fucking baby. You are the SJW. You are the blue-haired, screaming, crying, pissing, and shitting SJW. Are you fucking serious? Divorced and dragons. No wonder he's hiding his face.
Society does a pretty good job of telling white men to
Listen
try
to him.
for
He's so
anything.
mad.
Oof. So this is Seattle latest. Jason thinks he is
Listen to him. You ever heard a guy more hurt by something that doesn't involve him? He couldn't put the camera on because he had to hide the tears welling in his eyes. Jesus.
white savior. He's going to rescue women and people of color.
Rescue them? What? This doesn't come across as white savior at all. He's just saying, hey, it would be good to have different opinions and viewpoints at my company.
Tabletop RPG industry. Funny.
Do you even know who they hired for this, by the way? I don't. Do you?
These people never give up their jobs to a woman or person of color.
Give up their jobs. You didn't have this job. No one. They have an opening on the design team. What do you mean give up the job? Apply and be better than the other people.
When they have a chance, he could step down at any time and say, you know what? I'm going to go out and I'm going to find my replacement. And I will dutifully step aside for the good of society. No, it's always for the good of their own pocketbook, isn't it?
Their own pocketbook, isn't it? Mouth sound. His pocketbook? Like he works there. It's his job to say we have an opening on the design team. He's the game designer. What? What? I don't know what you mean. He doesn't have to. The opening on the design team is there. There's no need to step down at all. This just doesn't make any sense. Your argument makes no sense. Go woke, go broke. No. Go woke. Make a lot of money as the number 2 RPG behind Dungeons and Dragons, but with much better company policy.
These people are huge phonies. All right, so why then
What makes it phony? He seems quite genuine here.
Jason making news now? Well, I stumbled across this post on X from Magic Man. Give him a follow. It's a good account talking about how tabletop RPGs are for everyone and everyone's welcome at his table. And I look down and I see Jason Bullman. Oh, I remember that name.
Uh-huh.
Head of games at Paizo, saying, now this is from actually back in August, so I don't know why this is coming out now, but this is the first I've seen it. If Vance, meaning JD Vance, the soon-to-be vice president of the United States, has...
The way you said that was so weird. Like, the soon-to-be president of the United States. Like you feel like you got away with something. Because like, people in general are like, yeah, he seems incompetent and unlikable. And you're like, no, he's my guy. Brother, you're embarrassing, man. I don't know how you can, like, walk through life. He's like 5'5", and he talks like this. He's bald, and he's divorced. Oh.
Played Pathfinder. I want him to send his books back.
No.
No space for fascists in our game.
Yeah. He's saying, fuck you, JD Vance. JD Vance can't read anyway. It's fine.
Well, this is very, very silly.
Okay.
First of all, I think JD Vance, I knew he played Magic. I didn't realize he played Pathfinder. So, hey, good for him. I'm sure he probably played first edition. But just, of course, the labeling of anybody on the right as a fascist. It's becoming such an old, tired canard. But you know what? It's
a canard. It's an old, tired canard. It sounds like something an old, tired, divorced guy might say. Fuck. Huge I'm not mad. Dude, it's so stupid.
It still needs to be called out and laughed at. There's a lot of folks out there who think, just ignore these people, bro. Just ignore them.
Anyone on the right, and it's the Peter Thiel guy who's the vice president. Right, like, I mean, these guys are fascists. It is what it is. You voted for fascists. You'll see. It's whatever. I mean, you just get to fucking find out, I guess.
They're not doing any harm to you, and who cares? Maybe they make good games too, bro. And to that I say, to hell with you. If you don't think
To hell with you?
this stuff seeps down into the final product from these kinds of people, you're crazy. You're absolutely crazy.
You're crazy. You're absolutely crazy. He says in the dark, like hiding in a closet somewhere, recording this video on his phone, angrily fucking shaking.
It's not like the old days where, somebody may have voted a little differently from you. Oh, that person votes Democrat, but they basically understood, like, we're all the same country. Let's come together after an election.
Let's come together after an election. Dog, he's talking about mass deportation and like with people that under the law were legal citizens, and then they're just choosing to like undo stuff and kick them out anyway. It's like crazy.
Like that. So this isn't the old days, when you found out like, oh, my favorite artist or, game designer is a little bit different from me politically. No, this is blood.
I'm not even close to a little bit politically different than you. I'm like drastically politically different than you. For instance, I'm not cucked by corporations. Like, I don't think that you should have to suck at the corporate tit to be able to live your life. But you want to. You like prostrate yourself in front of rich men because you hope one day to be in their good graces enough to consider yourself with a piece of the pie. And it's like, come on, man. Have some fucking dignity. But you don't. You sell your fucking soul to these like people who are robbing the country. Like, you think you're a patriot or something by putting a billionaire and his fucking cronies in office, and it's crazy. You're gonna fuck around and find out when this whole shit falls apart. I mean, but you'll never admit it. It so won't matter. But your life will be bad, so that's okay. He lives in Florida. It's not gonna get better there.
Sport to them. This is life or death.
Uh-huh.
And if you are one of these morons who just sticks their head in the sand and says, Paisos, who cares, man? I love the game, bro. I love the game. And, who cares if they say this kind of stuff? The game is still good. Well, the game is shit. How do I know? Well, this is in my comments section from another video from one of my subscribers, the NWDM. Thank you for bringing this to my attention, sir. Dude, I was shocked when I found a magic item in Pathfinder 2 that you can only attune to if it's returned to its ancestral land. You apologize for the harm it was subjected to, and a promise is made to uphold its ideals. I was like, what?
What? That would be crazy. That doesn't sound like a quest at all. Like, huh? Return the artifact to the people it was stolen from? It's like a classic D&D or tabletop quest. What do you mean? Brocade handle magic items.
Yeah, he says, check out the Rite of repatriation.
Yeah.
So I did.
Okay.
And sure enough, online, it's a ritual level 2 spell from Pathfinder number 193, Mantle of Gold. You call upon and apologize to local spirits as you ritually return a culturally important object to its creators, heirs, or resting place.
Uh-huh.
If the spirits accept, they repair some of any damage the object might have sustained since it was last in their possession. Learning about the item's significance and its rightful owner's history often makes this ritual easier to perform. They're saying you should educate yourself there.
Yeah, you could do this for white people or whatever in your campaign, man. You could do this with, like, returning the fucking Ark of the Covenant. You know what I mean? Like, this is... Although, of course, that wasn't white people. But in your head, it's white people, you know what I mean? Like, you think it's white. You could be like, we have to get the goblet from the king's goblet back. So Jumanji was really woke, I guess, yeah. Like, you're offended by this, and it just makes me think that you're a little piss baby. Like, don't use this item if it bothers you, I guess. But, like, this sounds like a really good hook.
As does performing significant deeds to repair past harm. Talking about reparations there.
Talking about the players are going to do reparations. Likely, they're going to go on some quest to like kill a dragon, or huh? It's a one of many possible adventures, and you don't have to interpret this like you seem to have some sensitivity to the idea that white people are, like, as a cultural monolith, are en masse responsible for harmful things to native populations through the act of colonization, and like divine right of men and shit like that. So, like, do you have some consciousness of that, and do you feel guilt over it or something? Like, because I don't feel guilt over it. I wasn't involved. So, like, why are you so offended by this? I'm not offended at all. I'm on the side of the people that were fucked up by anything bad that happened, because I think it's immoral for that to have happened. It's very easy. You ever, like, Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee? You ever fucking, like, read that or watched the movies? Blood Meridian? Is Cormac McCarthy real woke for saying, you know what? I think the practice of Americans bounty hunting at the southern border for both slaves and Native Americans, and then they just were like, well, we pretty much just need brown scalps to make money, so we'll kill Mexicans too. And Cormac McCarthy's like raw horror to that reality, and then the story from the perspective of bad guys doing that. Do you think that's like woke? Because it is woke. Being woke is just understanding systemic problems. That's what woke is. And that, so, but do you think Blood Meridian is woke then? Because it's not that dissimilar from this. It really isn't.
The deeds or depth of knowledge required is subject to the GM's discretion, and then some game mechanic stuff there. But you get the idea. This is pretty much par for the
More like woke Meridian. Yeah, that's a cool ritual. You could flavor that to be however you want to.
course for Paizo. If you're enjoying their stuff, that's fine, I suppose. We played some Pathfinder First Edition, especially. First Edition is just D&D Third Edition.
Which is why I'm not a big fan of it. That is way too much nuance for this guy. Pathfinder 2 is apparently much closer to 5e, but has made improvements. I'm pretty interested in the MCDM RPG, Draw Steel, which I bring up pretty much every time we watch something like this because I think it's cool. I would be interested in checking out other systems after this campaign, but we'll see. I think our comfort with D&D is good, but it's also fun to learn new stuff. So
nothing wrong with that. I think it's when they went to second edition. That's
mostly, I think it's more about I like the D20 system, and as for things I don't like about Dungeons and Dragons, I just change them. You know what I really don't like about D&D is some of their spell levels seem fucky, and things like teleport, which break your game wide open, should have a cost so that you can meter the use of it a little bit, but also so that you can make it feel good to achieve it. Because teleport, if you just need to understand 7th level spells to teleport around the world, it literally changes every campaign to being super high magic unless you really limit the access to that. And then, for me, verisimilitude-wise, it makes no sense whatsoever to have several characters that get in your campaign. If they're full casters, you have several characters in your campaign throughout the course that can cast 7th level spells, and all they've done is adventure together for like a year or something. You know what I mean? In game. So it's like, I don't know, man. I think we should, if it was pay gated, that'd be good. And so anyway, I homebrew everything I don't like about it. So, like, my personal feeling is that I don't really need to change systems, but if everybody else at the table wanted to, I would try it.
It's really, really when the lunacy kicked into high gear. They were always a liberal company before that, but they kind of kept it out of the final product. But
a liberal company.
Now you're getting stuff like the Rite of repatriation. So look, if you want to go down that road, I suppose that's your business. You're giving money to people who hate your guts. But some people think, hey, if
the Rite of repatriation.
I do that for a game that I love.
I don't really understand. Like, is it repatriation, which means like returning to your home country? Like, is it repatriation for an item? Is that?
It's okay. Yes. It's all about the game, bro. No,
it's not really about patriation though. That implies like a country, you
know. Sorry, not the case.
Is it repatriation from a cultural standpoint? I've never heard anyone use it for like items or non-country situations. Non-states.
You end up having to choke down stuff like the right of repatriation and then supporting it just to own the anti-woke people. So that's a really sad road to go down for those folks. But
the right of repatriation? What is the... Because of the spell, right? Right of repatriation, yeah. Interesting.
if you're just a regular player, yeah, there's better options out there. I've said it quite a bit. There's just any old edition of D&D. There's the retro clones like Dragon Slayer, Castles and Crusades for be pretty good bare bones experience. Still has a little bit of meat on the bone, so to speak. So,
wow, I really love listening to your fucking juicy fucking mouth, your old man mouth with the crusties on the corners. Ugh.
Yep. Paizo sucks. They think if you're a white guy, you're a fascist.
You're such a fucking baby. You're a crybaby. I can't fucking listen to it. Stop it. It's just so stupid. They don't like white people. Shut the fuck. He's a white guy. Shut up. Oh my god. I can't imagine being that fucking divorced and that fucking sad all the time. Ugh. No wonder he's hiding his face, dude. It's crazy.